Welcome back to Narrow Path Doctrine. My name is Jim. It's time for another episode here in Doctrine Q&A. It's where someone sends in a question in doctrine or theology, and I do my level best to try to answer that question using Scripture, of course, and doctrine and theology as best as I can do, and based on what I know and the research that I've done. Stick around until the end, and I'll let you know how you can send in your question of doctrine or theology, and I'll do my best to answer that as well. This time around, the question is, how can God hold people responsible for not responding to the general call when all are not given the effectual call, the call that makes the response possible? It's a good question. It touches on the relationship between God's sovereignty and human responsibility. It's kind of a key aspect in Reformed theology. The Bible teaches that all people are accountable to God because His glory, power, and divine nature are revealed to all through general revelation. Romans 1:18 through 20 states, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of Him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse." This passage shows that all people have sufficient knowledge of God to leave them without any excuse whatsoever. They are morally accountable to their rejection of this knowledge, even if they are not recipients of the effectual call. While the general call goes out to all, the effectual call, where God actually regenerates the heart and enables faith to happen, is extended only to the elect. This distinction is seen in passages like Romans 8:30, "Moreover, whom He did predestinate, them He also called, and whom He called, them He also justified, and whom He justified, them He also glorified." Here, the call refers to the effectual call that inevitably leads to salvation. God is not unjust, though, in withholding this grace, as no one deserves salvation by nature. All humanity is in rebellion against God, and apart from His sovereign work, none would seek Him. Romans 3:10 through 12 for reference. We as humans are spiritually dead in sin and unable to respond to God apart from His grace, Ephesians 2:1 through 5. However, this inability is a result of humanity's own sinful nature, not imposed by God. God does not coerce people into sin. Rather, they choose to reject Him because of their sin nature. God's sovereign choice to give the effectual call to some and not to others serves to display both His justice and His mercy. God is completely just and completely merciful all at the same time. Romans 9:22 through 23 explains, "What if God, willing to show His wrath and to make His power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that He might make known the riches of His glory on the vessels of mercy, which He had afore prepared unto glory." God's justice is demonstrated in the condemnation of sinners who reject Him, and His mercy is magnified in the salvation of the elect. Though no one can respond apart from the effectual call, humans are still responsible because their rejection of God stems from their own sinful hearts. This principle is echoed in John 3:19, "And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil." So, in summary, God holds people responsible for rejecting the general call because they suppressed the truth in unrighteousness. At the same time, salvation is entirely of God's sovereign grace, and the effectual call is given according to His good pleasure, not because of anything in the recipient. This magnifies His glory in both His justice and His mercy, while affirming that all humanity is accountable before Him. All right, I hope that answers the question somewhat. It's a tough question, and we don't have all the answers, unfortunately, because, well, God told us what He told us in His Word. For example, the people that He chose, the people who are the elect, He chose them because He loved them. That's all we know. That's it. That's it. So we'll find out more when we finally get there. All right. If you have a question in doctrine or theology, send it in to me. If you look in the description for the video, you'll find my email address there. Send me your question and your first name as well. I won't use any last names, of course. Send your first name, and if it's okay, to use your first name in the video. All right, so if you did enjoy this episode, give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and of course, if you have not subscribed as of yet, please do so, and click the notification bell to get updates when new videos like this one come out. So until next time, remember, true doctrine fuels a living, breathing faith. God bless.